Hello, you're watching A News Today from Baku. I'm Leila Masimwa. Here are the top stories. Ongoing search efforts for 17 missing passengers after tourist boat sinks in Red Sea. Romanian students protest far-right presidential candidate Călin Georgescu following his first-round election victory. Berlin's iconic City Hall Christmas market opens to celebrate the start of the holiday season. Search efforts are ongoing for 17 missing passengers and crew members from a tourist boat in Egypt. Officials say 28 people have been rescued already after the vessel sank near Marsa Alam in the Red Sea.
The tourist boat was carrying 45 people in total, 31 were tourists and there were 14 crew. The vessel was on a diving trip when it capsized near a reef. According to local authorities, a distress signal was received at 5:30 a.m. and rescue operations began immediately, supported by Egyptian frigates and aircraft. However, searches were suspended at nightfall. Officials reported that rough seas with wind speeds of 34 knots and waves of up to 4 metres was likely to have contributed to the sinking. The boat departed from Porto Galib and was due to return to Hurghada Marina on Friday. Poland's foreign ministry confirmed that 2 Polish citizens might be on board, whilst it's reported that 2 British people are reported to be missing. The incident marks the second boat sinking in the area this year after a similar accident in June. The Red Sea is a vital hub for Egypt's tourism industry and renowned for its coral reefs.
In Indonesia, in North and Sumatra province, 15 people have been killed as a result of torrential rains. The search for 7 missing individuals is ongoing. Officials say landslides have killed 11 people while another 4 died in a flash flood. More heavy rain is forecasted in North Sumatra, raising the risk of further flooding. Around 100 rescue workers, along with police and military personnel, are searching for those still missing.
So far, the search has found only 4 victims. Due to the weather and low light, we are focusing on cleaning up the main road. We will most likely continue our search efforts tomorrow.
Feminist protesters gathered outside a courthouse in southern France as prosecutors presented their sentencing recommendations in a mass rape trial.
Feminist protesters gathered outside a courthouse in southern France for the case involving Dominique Pellicot. He is accused of orchestrating the brutal assault of his then wife by dragging her into unconsciousness and inviting thousands of strangers to sexually abuse her. Prosecutors have called for the maximum 20-year prison sentence for Pellicot. For the other defendants, the prosecution recommended shorter sentences.
The message that's being sent to society right now is you can commit rape and they won't wrap you across the knuckles too much. A 10-year sentence is nothing at all. That woman is broken. She said so herself.
The trial proceedings are set to continue on Tuesday. The demonstrators condemned the leniency of the proposed sentences and called for stronger justice for sexual violence survivors. Outside the courthouse, the protesters, marking the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, voiced their anger, demanding that the defendants face no longer prison sentences. The final verdicts and sentences in the case are expected to be delivered by December 20.
The presidential election in Georgia is scheduled for December 14th, with the inauguration ceremony set to take place on December 29. According to a Georgian media report, the announcement was made by Shalva Papashvili, Speaker of Parliament, during a bureau meeting. On November 28, the Georgian Parliament is expected to approve the new country's government. Shaloma Zorabashvili is currently serving as Georgia's last president elected through direct voting. The next president will be chosen by 300-member electoral college. Romanian students rallied at University Square in the capital, Bucharest. They protested against far-right presidential candidate Călin Georgescu, who unexpectedly won the first round of the election.
Georgescu, a vocal critic of NATO and a supporter of Russia, secured almost 23% of the vote in the first round of the election, defying pre-election predictions where he had polled in the low single digits. His surprise success has raised concerns about Romania's future foreign policy as he faces a second-round runoff against centre-right opposition leader Elena Lasconi, who garnered around 19% of the vote. The protest, organised through social media platforms, saw hundreds of students gather to express their opposition to Georgescu.
I'm here because I believe in democracy. I believe that people should have a say in what's happening in their country. And I believe that going back to 35 years ago is not a solution to the problems we are facing right now.
Georgescu ran his campaign as an independent insurgent, distancing himself from centrist incumbent parties that have faced challenges with inflation. His campaign, primarily on TikTok and YouTube, emphasised conservative themes of family values, tradition, the Christian Orthodox Church, and a deep connection to the land. In response to the criticisms, Georgescu addressed the accusations.
I'm accused of extremism, of being connected with close or far countries. It's totally false. I'm completely dedicated with all my heart and all my life to the Romanian people.
The outcome of the second round of the election on 8th of December could potentially shift Romania's political trajectory and challenge its pro-Western stance.
Tensions flared up in the Serbian parliament, where discussions between policymakers quickly escalated to physical violence.
A fight between deputies happened this Monday at the Serbian parliament. Tension rose between the ruling coalition and the opposition over a train station roof collapse that killed 15 people earlier this month. The parliament was scheduled to debate the 2025 budget, but the opposition demanded to have a debate about the disaster that happened at the recently renovated train station in Novi Sad on November the 1st, killing 15 people. This accident sparked a massive wave of protests. 12 people, including a former minister, were accused after an investigation over the disaster last week found them accountable for it. The opposition accuses authorities of corruption and demands the resignation of Prime Minister Miloš Vučević. The ruling coalition denies allegation and accuses the opposition of triggering violence.
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte was in Turkey on Monday for talks with the country's President Tayyip Erdogan and Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. The meeting focused on potential solutions for ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. The Secretary General commended Turkey for its firm support of Ukraine defense industry. Also discussed during the meeting were Turkey's plans for hosting the NATO summit in 2026. Rutte praised Turkey for its commitment to NATO's collective security, highlighting that the country is the second largest army in the organization. Bayraktar TB3, unmanned combat aerial vehicle, which made aviation history as the first unmanned aerial vehicle to take off and land on a short task vessel, is successfully continuing its shipboard tests.
During its second flight test conducted aboard TCG Anadolu cruising off the coast of Çanakkale, Bayraktar TB3 performed 2 more successful takeoffs and landings without using any landing support equipment. The indigenously developed UCAV successfully executed the test parameters while flying at an average altitude of 20,000 feet. After completing ramp test in Kesan and approach test at sea, Bayraktar TB3 UCAV achieved another milestone on November 19th, when it successfully took off from the short deck ramp at TCG Anadolu, which features a 12-degree incline. During a historic 46-minute test flight in the Aegean and Mediterranean junction, Bayraktar TB3 also successfully landed on the short deck without any landing support equipment. To date, Bayraktar TB3 has accumulated a total of 828 hours and 57 minutes of flight time during test flights.
Trying to find a way to reduce plastic pollution, that's the main focus of the United Nations Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee meeting in South Korea. Leaders are hoping talks in Busan will create an internationally binding legal treaty. Right now, the world produces 57 million tons of plastic pollution every year, according to the latest study.
The new agreement covers the entire life cycle of plastics, focusing particularly on the resolution of single-use and short-term plastics, waste management, and the gradual phasing out of plastic.
An agreement that addresses the life cycle of plastics, tackling single-use and short-lived plastics, waste management, and measures to phase out plastic and promote alternative materials. That provides concrete solutions for all countries to access technologies and improve land and marine environments.
This approach takes into account the most vulnerable groups. The speakers emphasize how important this issue is for human health.
Not a single person wants chemical-laced plastic particles in their bloodstream or their organs or in their unborn babies.
The waste we have accumulated in our oceans and rivers now jeopardizes the lives of future generations.
Conference participants noted that the agreement is not just about creating a legal document, but also about humanity facing an ongoing challenge. They also pointed out that the waste accumulating in oceans and rivers is endangering future generations, stressing the global security implications of the issue. The success of these negotiations will directly shape both our present and our future.
4 pilot whales have died in a mass standing on a beach in New Zealand. Locals and conservation groups managed to successfully refloat the others.
People gathered around the whales, which were stranded on a beach in New Zealand's North Island. Around 40 pilot mammals had beached. The local Maori group, together with authorities and members of the public, helped redirect them back into the sea. However, 3 adults and 1 calf tragically died, according to the Department of Conservation. The agency praised the efforts of hundreds of volunteers who helped save the remaining whales.
You know, a really awesome response from the community. Thousands of people have come down to help, and, you know, it was great to see that unity, you know, for the same purpose around let's try and save these taonga. You know, and that's been quite successful, although, you know, 4 have passed away in the strandings.
So there was a lot of people in the water. Obviously, you know, safety is a real priority here, and so Project Jonah's got a whole team of trained, you know, volunteers who support in events like these, and they're trained to be in the water. They're trained to be around these amazing animals, and basically making a lot of noise and really encouraging them back out by splashing and and refloating as well.
New Zealand experiences frequent whale strandings, with the Department of Conservation handling about 85 incidents a year. Despite extensive research, the cause remains unclear. Experts believe the island's geography, with its shallow, sloping beaches, may confuse pilot whales, which use sonar for navigation.
A fir tree that withstood Hurricane Helen in North Carolina will be this year's Christmas tree at the White House. The U.S. First Lady Jill Biden announced. Jill Biden says volunteers will soon begin decorating the tree at the White House for the holiday season. The Fraser fir will be displayed in the Blue Room, where hundreds of holiday visitors will have a chance to see it during Joe Biden's final holiday season office.
This beautiful Fraser fir was grown at the Cartner's Christmas tree farm, where the Cartner family has been growing trees for more than 60 years. And their farm is nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, a region that was recently devastated by Hurricane Helene. The Cartner family lost thousands of trees in the storm, but this one remained standing, and they named it Tremendous for the extraordinary hope that it represents.
Germany's capital is embracing the holiday season as the iconic City Hall Christmas market in Berlin opens, bringing festive cheer, seasonal treats and plenty of holiday spirit.
Berlin's City Hall Christmas market has officially opened, drawing crowds eager to embrace the festive season. Alongside its twinkling decorations, the market features an ice rink and stalls selling holiday favorites like roasted almonds and bratwurst sausage. Visitors are sharing their holiday experiences.
In these challenging times, Christmas brings hope, trust, love and togetherness. Dress warmly, bring some euros for mulled wine and sausages and enjoy the evening vibe. But prices are higher this year. How will pensioners afford it?
The lights in the dark are lovely and the food is delicious. It's a wonderful experience.
It's my first Christmas market and I really like it because it's really full of delicious things and it's really special, and I like the sleigh ride right now and I think it's really good, yes.
The City Hall Christmas market is just one of many in Berlin and will remain open until the end of December, spreading holiday joy to locals and tourists alike.
Well, that's all we have for this hour. Please do stay with us and thank you for watching.